In the world of Hollywood, movies get greenlit and redlit. They get remade and rebooted. But we are the ideal. I'm Sam Gasch, and you are listening to Ideal Remake. Thank you for listening to Ideal Remake. We take movies that either have been, will be, or should be remade and talk about what the ideal version of that remake would be. This time we're uncovering the answer to life, the universe, and everything with our mostly harmless guests, Bethany Huwe and Isabella Agizi. Did I do it right this time? Agizi! Agizi. Woo! Damn it! I realized as I was singing it, I was like, this is the wrong one.
It's one of those things where you think you're doing it right and it's always the wrong one.
Bella and Bethany is Hitchhiker's Guide, a movie that has been, will be, or should be remade.
I don't want it to be remade.
You do not want it to be remade.
I don't want it to be remade, but if it must, we need to secure the proper cast and credits.
See, the interesting thing for me is that I think it should be remade.
Oh, how? Blasphemous.
Because the movie's not great.
The movie's amazing.
It's
Peaks
so bad. All right. And we're talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with...
Broke everyone's speakers.
All right. So...
I'm sorry, you
that was an earth-shattering statement that deserved an earth-shattering and mic-shattering response.
You can't drop a bomb like that and not get me to scream.
I enjoyed a lot of this movie, but there are a lot of things that I think need to be changed. And we'll get into that. But first, what's your experience with this movie? Is the movie the first thing you saw, or is the books the first thing you experienced?
Movie, definitely the first thing I experienced. Book, I still don't think I've fully read the book myself, but I've been given my older sisters, again referencing my older sisters, introduced me to the movie, and my oldest sister read the book, and she, like, the first few times we watched the movie, she, like, explained, like, all the differences and, like, what they made the movie into and whatnot. But I'm, like, such a huge fan of literally everyone in this movie that I thought it was perfect.
I am a big fan of just about all of the cast.
Yeah.
However.
Great.
Oh, boy.
Bella, what's your first experience with this world?
So I can't remember my first experience, apparently, because I know I watched it as a kid, but I only discovered that when it was, like, reintroduced to me in college. I think it was my ex-boyfriend in college, and we listened to the book on tape, narrated by Stephen Fry, which is perfect.
Amazing.
Like, driving, I think we were driving from, like, New Mexico to California over winter break or something, and I was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing story ever. And it sounded vaguely familiar to me. So I was, like, so into the book, and then we watched the movie, because he was like, you have to see the movie. And I have this issue where someone will, like, pitch a movie to me, and I'm like, I've never seen that. And then, like, 10 minutes in, I'm like, I've seen this.
I was like that with the Nicolas Cage movie, The Rock.
I've not seen that. Probably have, but I don't.
When did that come out?
I don't remember. I can look it up. I've got the internet right in front of me.
Is The Rock in it?
No. It's from the 90s at some point.
Yeah.
But it's it's Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
Oh, okay. And
that was, like, pitched to me, and, like, I was like, oh yeah, no, I've never seen that before. 30 seconds of the movie, I'm like, I for sure have seen this before.
Yep, story of my life.
Yeah. It doesn't happen that often, but because we were at a movie night of movies Sam hasn't seen, I basically had to wait till the end of the movie to go. So anyway, I saw that. Bye!
Laps!
Like, it's gotten to a point where, like, I'll say, hey, I really want to watch Into the Spider-Verse. I've got it on DVD. Can we sit down and watch it? And they'll be like, have you seen it? Yes. Can't do it. That's the rule. Ugh, fine. We can watch, There's Something About Mary.
Oh.
Still haven't seen it.
Someday.
I mean...
Yeah.
That's not one of the ones that I would be like, oh my god.
Well, the ones that were like, oh my god, were like E.T., Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
like, I've now seen those.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right, good.
Those were top... Those are the movies that your parents are supposed to show you, and if yours don't...
Yeah.
Yeah, well. But you're both fan... So what I ended up doing is I watched the movie a week ago, and we scheduled and rescheduled this recording, and because I had a little bit more time, I re-listened to the book.
Oh, wow.
Narrated by Stephen Fry.
Lovely.
And he's great, because Stephen Fry's great at everything and is amazing.
Yes.
And I kind of had a sense of what I didn't like in the movie, and that was made more clear when I listened to the book.
Oh.
There's two things I didn't really care for in the movie.
Okay.
One, there's no chemistry between Martin
there's
Freeman
not.
and Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, no, you're fine. That's true.
Yeah, it's really awkward and uncomfortable, and
there's too much chemistry between her and Sam Rockwell. Because
I
Sam
don't think
Rockwell
there's
has chemistry with everyone.
he
Sam
does,
He's
but
amazing.
I didn't think they had any chemistry either.
More than her and Martin.
Sure,
Yeah.
but also still not really.
Yeah.
And either way, she in this movie is like 20-something, and they're both...
Yeah.
Although I looked
she's
it up...
So young, no. That was one of my thoughts when we were rewatching it. I was like, holy crap, she's so much younger than I remember her being.
Yeah. And they, like, keep sexualizing her in uncomfortable
So
ways.
uncomfortable, yeah.
Like, there's literally a scene of her in the shower, and Martin Freeman goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then keeps walking in.
Yeah.
No,
As
well, he
also-
motioned to her, "Is it okay if I come in?" And she said yes.
But also,
Yeah, but, like, yeah? What? No.
her outfit, which is really cute, but when he first, meets her on the spaceship, and she's in, she's, got on little glasses, and then she has the button-down shirt on, and, teeny tiny little shorts that look like underwear.
changes.
That's how we first see her.
That's
She's
how
put
we
on
first see her.
pants.
She puts on a jumpsuit
Yes.
before he gets in there.
Yeah, but we see her that way, and she's just walking around like that, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's not good.
I think it's a cute outfit.
It is cute, but it's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
It is kind of sexy.
And the joke they make is that she's wearing Zaphod's underwear.
Yeah.
She's wearing, his shirt and his underwear.
And basically, so I watched this movie with a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
But you've never met.
Not a mute.
Still haven't met her yet.
Someday. And every time they kept trying to do the romance thing with Martin Freeman, it was like, ooh, no, stop. And so re-listening to the book, basically Martin Freeman tells the story of, I was chatting her up at a party, but she ended up not really being interested in me, and this other guy came along. Anyway, that's the end of that. And that's it.
Right.
That is it.
Yeah.
And that's better. He got shot down, he accepted it, he moved on. It's not this weird, well, I'm definitely in love with her, and she's the most important thing in the universe to me. It's, missed opportunity because she wasn't interested in me, but I'm chill about it now because I'm not weird.
Yeah, this is actually an argument that I have in my casting. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. But I looked it up, and it wasn't necessarily as bad as I thought. Martin Freeman is only 8 years older than Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, and I also,
as opposed to other movies, but yes.
Call me old school, but I did like the idea of this romance of them being the last two humans from Earth anyways, and the romance kind of extending, whoops, those are my sunglasses, extending through
Your sunglasses.
the story to kind of, I don't know, there's
If you
something
do like
symbolic
that,
and
may
nice
I
about
recommend a graphic novel series called Why the Last Man?
it. Sure, you may, but I also like Hitchhikers.
Separate from Hitchhikers.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then, just the romances in general in this movie kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, because then it's Zaphod's vice president who keeps tracking him down because she's totally in love with him.
Yeah.
She's not in the book.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think it's hilarious.
I like her, and I like how they end up together.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I just think that Sam Rockwell is just wonderful, and I want him to do anything he wants.
I would follow him across the universe.
Yeah, I would too. I would
Here's the thing.
chase him.
Sam
in the
Rockwell
heart of
is
gold.
fantastic casting for that role.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
I was talking to a
wonderful.
friend of mine today about this, who actually educated me quite a lot.
Oh, interesting.
It was like the only thing, and I told him about this podcast. And
Great.
yeah,
Who else did you tell?
Everyone.
Yes.
I tweeted it on my non-Twitter.
No.
But he was like, the only thing I would change about that movie is more of Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
honestly,
I kind of agree.
I would, honestly, he was so manic. I liked everything he did except for his, weird neck head.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
It's not. But everything, all of the choices he made were great.
Yeah.
And I have a different pitch for the way for them to do two Zaphod Beeblebrox heads.
Ooh, okay.
But we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But that was, the biggest thing for me.
Okay.
The second thing was that I almost feel like they stuck to the book too much. There are certain things in the movie that are a direct lift from the book. There's a moment when Martin Freeman kind of turns to camera and goes, "I never got the hang of Thursdays." And it felt like it didn't feel natural in the moment. It feels natural in the book when he says that, because it's the end of a chapter. Because it's a good joke, end of chapter, great, we're somewhere else now. But in the movie, it's just, he says that, and then we keep watching him.
It does. Sometimes when movies that are after books do that, it doesn't read so well because it feels forced. It's like they just insert, like, copied and pasted this into.
I always feel like it's a nice little recall to the book.
It is if it's performed well.
I don't know. When is this moment? In the beginning?
It's when he and Ford are in the bar.
Okay. I'll have to rewatch that part then.
But that moment in particular stood out to me, and so I was listening for it when I was listening to the book, and I heard where it came from. And there's a lot of things, like a lot of their weird little descriptors are direct word for word pulls.
Like in the narration and like of the book?
In the narration of the books, like when they're describing the Vogons, direct word for word pull.
I love that.
The Vogon thing I thought was great.
That whole scene is like,
a direct pull also. That one's actually shortened. It was a lot of like the cutaways, descriptor of the world things.
Yeah.
And the Vogon one worked, but then one that didn't work for me was like the weird Arthur Dent says, well, that's the end of that tale, and that word got carried across the universe, and these two warring factions heard it, and that one didn't work for me. The Vogons one absolutely did.
Yeah.
This one didn't.
I
don't mind it as much.
In the book, I can't remember, did they get more into the story behind Magrathea?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I always feel like that's missing in the movie.
Yeah, there's a whole...
more backplot.
Yeah.
Well, it's different. In the movie, they pursue Zaphod's connection, like this person he beat, like the vice president, John Malkovich, and...
Hamakavula.
Sure.
Whatever you say. Okay. Just trying to, like, be factual
Kola Kabula?
Hamakavula.
Hamakavula.
Also, it's Zaphod, not Zaphod.
Yeah.
Zaphod?
It's Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Yeah.
I kept typing it in wrong as Breeblebrox.
Breeblebrox.
That's not it.
I mean, there's a lot of B's in it, so.
I thought it was Beetlejuice for a long time, so.
I'm okay with that.
They say it pretty quickly, so.
Yeah.
But there's more Zaphod lore in the book, and it's more just weird shenanigans and hijinks. Trillian gets captured in the movie, and she doesn't in the book. And honestly, I like the book's version better in the sense, full disclosure, I read the book first.
Right.
I first read...
Sorry. I'm just gonna not move.
We can knock the glasses over again.
Yeah. Everybody just flail your arms for a second.
I first read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on an international flight flying back from Israel with my family.
Oh, wow.
And so I read the entire book in one sitting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I've read all 5-6 books.
Yeah.
The first one's great. The second one's good. The third one is bad. And the fourth and fifth one are fine.
They're okay. They did
They're
great.
better than the third one. And yet I think about the third one more. It's weird.
Did they come out after the first movie was made?
No. It all came out long before the
very,
movie.
very long time ago.
But they made another movie.
They made a TV show.
There was a TV show that was based on it, which the actors from that are in the bar scene.
Are they really? Is that the woman that keeps staring at them?
Yeah, the woman and
That's amazing.
She's Trillian. Yeah.
Oh.
I know a lot about this movie because
that's fantastic.
What I want our remake to do.
I want our remake to feature these
like
guys.
Bill Nye has to be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of what I'd prefer. I kind of want tongue-in-cheek, like I kind of like the overall arcing story, but I also kind of want tongue-in-cheek references to the original.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I did a little bit with my casting, but not overly so.
Same.
But so I read the books first, and then I saw the movie. So that's might potentially be why. But I didn't remember the books when I saw the movie. But I don't remember what I was talking about. It was something real good.
Tangent.
Yeah. But
Zaphod.
Oh yeah, it's more Zaphod's story than it is these weird other things.
This romance and this.
Like the Vogons are in that initial scene, and then that's it.
They're not
they're not following it.
Yeah,
villains
because the forms weren't stamped. Why would they be following them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
how could the vice president?
And honestly, Eddie the computer's in it a little bit more.
The computers needed more?
Eddie the computer is in it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which was Tom Lennon in the movie, and I turned to a friend of mine, I went, "That's Tom Lennon." She was like, "It's totally Tom Lennon."
That's
yeah.
what.
And yeah, that's what Zach did.
You did the same thing?
We're watching it.
That's great. Zach Luna guessed for next week. Or in 2 weeks. So I'm like, I can reference this thing I just recorded. No, I can't. That hasn't happened yet.
He was from another podcast recording you did, though.
Yeah, who remembers that?
Yeah.
That's a good one, too, though.
Only loyal followers of your podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's why you guys are back, because you're such great guests.
Yeah.
But, so let's talk about that. Like, Bethany, you clearly love this movie. What are your favorite moments from this movie?
So the problem is that I've seen this movie probably 42 times. I am very... That's my bit. It's very... It's so very quotable. There are so many things that, like, Arthur says and Zaphod says and Ford says. Just so many different bits that I
might need an
love.
example.
I, like... There's one point where you faintly hear Zaphod say, "Praxabeetalix." It's just that soundbite has stuck in my head.
Praxabeetalix?
Praxabeetalix. Or he goes like, "hippity-doo." Like, there's just random things.
I those are just pure Sam Rockwell
Bethany,
things.
And she would just like say something
under her
breath,
breath.
and then I'd be like, "What?" And then they'd say,
and then
I'd be
say,
like,
"Oh, got it. She's quitting." Because I have a problem. Very certain movies you can't watch with me because I will quote it before they say it.
I don't think I realized you'd seen this movie so many times.
Oh, that's why I like really petitioned to be on this episode.
You were I did this post on Facebook, and you were like me.
I was like, as soon as I thought, I was like, I will make time for this. It's truly, because it came out in 2005. I was a teenager. I think I probably saw it like a few years after it actually been released. Like my sisters,
just like all of us.
My sisters introduced a whole world of British comedy to me, and a lot of it didn't take, but this one did take. And I just thought it was so flippant, funny, and sweet and beautiful. And that was like the first introduction of Zooey Deschanel. So I understand like her role in this is to be that like quirky odd girl, which we've overdone to death by this point.
Yeah.
Especially she has done over death to this point. But that was like her first instance of being that character. So it was definitely like a very, I don't know, just nice, simple, sweet like romance, but also symbolic of Earth being gone, and I don't know, but it just meant a lot to me. It was really like first sense of good comedy that I really liked.
That's good. That's wonderful. Do you have a favorite joke from the movie?
I feel like I said like 6 times the other night we were watching that. I was like, oh, I love this bit. I love this bit so much. I love when they do their little like whatever it is, the lemon or no, whatever the martini is they do, but it feels like brick being wrapped with your brain being wrapped around a brick and a lemon squeezed on top or something like that. I love when Marvin stands up and shoots all the Vogons and they're all depressed. I think that's just hilarious. I love
pretty much everything that came out of Marvin's mouth.
Everything that came out of Marvin's mouth.
Marvin is amazing. Recasting him was really hard.
Anything, really hard. Anything with Sam Rockwell, obviously, we've said, truly fantastic. All of his improvisation.
You were big on the perspective gun.
Yes, loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
That exists only in the movie.
Yeah. I thought it was just very...
It has the best
great.
line.
It has the best line. Zoe's line of, "Well, it won't affect me. I'm already a woman," which I hate how she says that because it doesn't imply.
It's not a good line.
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's great.
Yeah, the girls think it's fantastic, Sam, because it's true. Women don't need to be shown other people's perspective because we're already intuitively thinking that way.
Sure.
So you can't say a goddamn thing about that.
That's why I'm sitting here quietly.
Yeah.
Just point the mic a little bit more.
Yeah. And now the ladies take over.
Bella, what are your favorite bits from this movie? What are the parts of it that stand out to you? Towards the mic.
I think maybe I'm going to talk to the ceiling. I think maybe one of my favorite scenes is the whale falling.
Yes!
The petunias.
Yes!
I don't know why.
What's
That,
thing?
when I was going to answer this question, the whale and the potted flowers, the petunias, that is my favorite thing in the movie, in the book.
Great bit.
Taking the time out.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's just so... I think I love it in the movie because it is so indicative of the entire tone of the book.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is hands down my favorite thing Douglas Adams has ever done.
Yeah, because so much of the book, and I think maybe because of where I'm at in my life right now and, like, what the schools of thought that I have started to study and everything, just in, like... I've kind
Are you trying to decide if you're the whale or are you trying to decide if you're the potted plant?
Yeah, everything the whale, all those thoughts that run through the whale's mind, that's me. Like, what am I doing? What am I?
Yeah.
Before I...
What do I call myself?
Die. No, it's just, like, the
Before I
whole
plunge to my
book is this great story. It's freaking genius. But then at the end of it all, like, there's all these little points where it's like, but fuck it, nothing matters. And, like, I think I grew up with that, like, it's very, like, British humor.
Yeah.
Dry humor of, like, nothing really matters, so let's just have a laugh. And my dad introduced me to that. Like, a lot of, he loves Terry Pratchett. He's read all the Terry Pratchett.
Correct.
Yeah. Terry Pratchett, Tom Robbins, like, all those authors have a very similar tone of, like, let's just have fun. Like, we'll include all this philosophy and, like, these big ideas about the universe, but then at the end of it, it's like, we're all... on Discworld on the back of a turtle that's floating through space.
Yes.
Yep. It's often been said of Terry Pratchett that he's just like Douglas Adams if Douglas Adams met his deadlines.
Yeah.
And if he wrote fantasy instead of sci-fi.
That's great.
But it just, if anyone's listening to this, and I'm sure if you're listening and you're a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide, and you're not already a fan of Discworld, read all the books.
Yeah,
just
Terry
all of them.
Pratchett's amazing.
They're
very similar.
There are a sum total of 3 misses in all of the books he's ever written, and he's written like 50 of them. And even the misses are still great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, one of my
Do you have
favorite
so your favorite joke is the whale and the potted plant? Yeah. That's
fantastic.
It's my answer
also
too.
the towel.
Yeah.
I love
Don't
the
forget your
Ford's
towel.
towel
You
obsession
gotta remember the towel.
thing. Just makes me so
There's
happy.
just so many running gags that work because they're
crazy.
just so random. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the ideas, the idea spatulas that hit them in the face.
Also only
when you
exists
have
in
a
the
thought.
movie.
Yeah.
But I like that bit as well.
And Bethany the other night said the cutest thing, and it's never actually occurred to me, where she was like, oh, that's why the Vogons are all dumb and stupid and have squished up faces.
Because they lived on this planet that slapped them for having thoughts.
That is makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the all-time joke is number 42.
Yeah.
Deep thought just is, like...
Deep thought is
brain
more
dead
in the
from
movie than
watching
Deep
TV
Thought
for
is in
thousands
the...
of years.
Then she's
Really?
in... Yeah. There's the 2 flashback... Like, because Deep Thought was 10 million years ago.
Yeah.
Like, came up with this thing, and then that was it. And also Deep Thought... The whole thing with the mice is that they are pan-dimensional beings.
Yeah.
They live in another dimension.
Right.
Which means that's where Deep Thought is.
Yeah.
Which means you can't go there.
Or you're
Unless you have coordinates and an improbability drive.
It says it exists everywhere in the universe. It doesn't say it exists everywhere across all universes. But either way, so they don't visit Deep Thought.
Okay.
That said, I find it hilarious that Deep Thought was just sitting there watching cartoons.
Yeah. And it's voiced by Helen Mirren.
Yes. Which is fantastic choice. I don't think I recast Deep Thought.
Oh, I did.
But
that was fun.
Yeah.
But I like the Deep Thought arc.
Yeah.
I thought that was super fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I have to ask, I'm going to do the other question. Other than the romance, which we're all kind of a little squeezy on.
It could be better, but I don't want to get rid of it altogether.
Okay. I think my pitch will work with that.
Okay, great.
What's something in the movie that you're not as big a fan of, that you would change since we are remaking it? For sure. It's definitely happening.
I truly couldn't think of anything. I don't know. My changes are my hip and happening updated cast, but I still want there to be...
you want to do the same script, exactly the same thing again?
Not exactly the same script, but just like a fresh take on the story with similar character vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just, like, improving upon this movie.
Do you feel the same way? What?
I mean, I don't know if I see anything with it where I'm like, that's so wrong. That, like, there were a lot of things with the previous the episode that we
Yeah.
did. We were like,
Yeah,
we
had
can't do that today.
issues with
We
this.
can all agree that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a better movie than Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yes.
Although kind of similar premise. They're just floating around.
Just going on adventures,
It's like the
singing a
hero's journey
song.
over and over. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, journeys. They're the same.
Anyway.
Weirdly uncomfortable romances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
Yeah. Did not get that.
I think, to me, just to make it... I think that the thing about, like, doing a remake... and it's crazy to think, like, 2005 is a year now that we can talk about, be like, maybe it's not so, like, let's make it more relevant.
Right?
Yeah.
But a lot has changed, and I think there already is a strong environmentalist message in it, but I think that in making it today, I would want that to be played up even more.
Also, just the subtle... There's a very subtle line in terms of, like, how, like, charming and popular can be actually... politically minded, like, appropriate government about the Zaphod winning over Hamakavula. And just the also very subtle point that he just, like, autographed a piece of paper and it destroyed a whole entire planet.
That was something else that bothered
like,
me.
uncanny.
Yeah. I was like, that's something that we could turn into an actual poignant, like, plot point.
I agree. But here's also something that bothered me in the sense that as soon as Arthur gets on the ship, Zaphod goes, don't tell her that your planet's destroyed or I'll beat you up. And then the whole point later is that he signed this piece of paper and had no idea what it said.
Yeah.
It can't be both.
Yeah.
I prefer that someone put a piece of paper in front of him, he signed it, it was his autograph, and he moved on.
He gets stupider.
I think
that's the weird thing about that character.
There's certain parts where I'm like, he probably, like, didn't, it was as it happened, like, he signed it, he didn't realize that it was okay to destroy Earth, and then maybe as they were traveling through space, he, like, found out, like, oh, this planet that I'm president of got
Galaxy.
got exploded, so, like, whoops, was that me? Oh, it was. Crap, can't tell the human that's on my ship right now.
I still think that I find it more interesting if he just has no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he just, someone put a piece of paper in front of me, sign it, great, no problem.
No, I definitely agree with that.
That certainly is relevant to today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things they talk about in the book is they make a big point of how the president of the galaxy doesn't actually have any power. The president of the galaxy isn't for anything other than to distract the people from the people who have the real power.
Yeah.
They talk about how the galaxy isn't controlled by the president, it's controlled by 6 people. Or no one knows who really controls the galaxy except for 6 people.
Okay.
And so Zaphod was a perfect president of the galaxy because he's such a distraction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's so amazing at the job because he will...
charm
anyone. Everyone will be looking at him instead of looking at what's really happening. It's a hand-wavy thing while the magician does the other trick.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super interesting.
Yes.
And it's absent from the movie.
Yeah.
But I absolutely believe that that's exactly the kind of message that you want to tell.
Yeah. Could be played up way more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also one very specific nitpicky thing where I was like, that has to go. Where Trillian comes back from being kidnapped and she's found out about the Zaphod signing and she slaps him. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because there's too many movies of women getting to slap men, and I'm just so adamant about any scene that I see now. I'm like, that can't happen.
Not. I also just don't think she should be kidnapped.
She shouldn't. Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
I think it serves as a distraction from the actual plot, which is the message and the power, and I think kidnapping Trillian...
Which is about having a distraction from what's actually going on.
It literally is. It's we have to go rescue the woman. That's literally what it is.
No, but don't phrase it that way, because I don't think that... I think it's more just like, we have to go rescue a part of our crew who was kidnapped instead of going to this planet just because that's been your goal this entire time. Like, we were all together and somebody went missing. We have to go get them.
I'd be perfectly fine with it if it's Ford that gets kidnapped.
Sure. Anybody.
Or just give her more agency. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I think it would be even better if they don't get to like, they don't get the form signed in time, but she gets herself out, or she figures out a way.
Yeah,
I do, maybe. I just think it's distracting, and I think we have enough things to deal with where we don't need to take 20 minutes going and rescuing Trillian. Like, there's enough for us to do just with the environmental message, the political message.
Well, if we do make it a little bit more about, like, behind the scenes with Zaphod, then he becomes a little more central of a character.
True.
So then there's more interesting stuff happening with his arc.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing is that in the book, Trillian is like a PhD in math and like mechanical engineering. Like, the reason why she's flying the Heart of Gold ship is because she's the only one who knows how.
Yeah.
In the book, she's the one with the most agency. Yeah. She's the most competent person there.
Yeah.
And that, like,
they don't make that clear in the movie at all.
And, like, they need to be referring to her because they're like, Trillian, you know what's going on. Yeah, it's this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Right.
Because, as much as she's dating Zaphod, because even in the book, the romance between her and Zaphod kind of works.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, he's weird and quirky, but he's fun. And he did have a spaceship. He took me to a world that I never knew I'd ever get to see. There was literally nothing for me on Earth. But, yeah, and so that for me, I want more of that. I want, even though the president of the galaxy is on this ship.
Yeah.
Even though there's a robot with a brain the size of a planet.
Yeah.
Trillian's in charge.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I agree.
More, yeah. I like that.
I also wrote down that I want more on the Magrathea storyline. That whole history. That I want that flashback to be longer or go back to it one or two more times.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's a really cool world setting.
Like a world that makes worlds? Yeah.
That they didn't... I don't think that they utilized it well enough.
There's a moment in the book where Trillian, Ford, and Zaphod get trapped in a catalog of potential planets that can get made. And we just get to, like, flip through just weird planets that Magrathea is able to make, and it's just great.
Wait, I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I love that.
Okay. Bring more of the book into this.
But honestly, like, but where I think that it'd be interesting to make it today is we kind of already have an Earth version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. XKCD, which is a webcomic, kind of made a joke about this a while ago, where one of the things that you can do on a Kindle is you kind of get low-key internet browsing and you have access to Wikipedia. So if you have a Kindle with access to Wikipedia and you can take that wherever you want, that's an Earth-only Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because Wikipedia has information on every single thing. With that in mind, I don't think we need to spend as much time explaining the Hitchhiker's Guide. We get it.
Right.
But I love that. I love that element of it. I feel like the amount that the guide is in the movie is fantastic because it's
I want the guide in the movie.
It's totally, just...
I want the guide in the movie more. I want the description of the guide in the movie less.
What do you mean by that, though?
So we set it up. It has all the information in the universe. Right. It says, don't panic on the cover. Great.
Yeah.
That's it. Now use it. And so Arthur's constantly flipping through and finding out information about the Vogons, about the Babelfish, about this, about that.
Right.
And we get the Mostly Harmless.
Right.
Mostly Harmless is in the movie, right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think it needs to be, but I think it's a good joke, especially since it's the title of the fifth book. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't specifically remember it in the movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's not
It may not be.
Yeah. You mean the description... What do you mean by the description of the guide?
They keep... Honestly, I feel like they could be using the Hitchhiker's Guide more because they kind of introduce it and then they don't really use it anymore.
Well, no, every time it goes to the infographics where the narrator is telling us about things, that's because they're using the guide to learn more about that information.
Great.
Yeah, which I love.
I think that's a cool, motif that structures it for
us
and harkens back to being this is a book. Because that's the fun thing about it being a book that you can carry around. Is it is your Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Then I would say let's use it more. Instead of it just being a cutaway, let's have the book and we see the thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Or we open the book, see a thing, go into it, cut back out, all that. That said, whenever the Heart of Gold used the improbability drive and jumped all over the place, loved it. Flowers, yarn people, thought it was great.
So good.
The whole what is normal, what are cows, that's my favorite bit, by the way.
What are cows?
What
That
are cows?
that was a really good bit.
That's my favorite bit
It's
of the whole
good.
movie. Okay.
I want a bumper
Circle
sticker.
back.
What are cows?
What are cows? It's just him, Sam Rockwell specifically saying that soundbite. Like, my sisters have quoted to me a million times.
Okay, let's talk about Sam Rockwell.
Always forever in there.
How do you want to do this? The Zaphod Beeblebrox 2-head, 3-arm thing?
I didn't think about that, honestly. I just thought about other actors to play him. I didn't really think about the sort of alien makeup of what he would be like. I didn't mind the sleeve thing.
The sleeve thing?
The sleeve that hides his arm
Oh,
on his... The podcast listeners can't see what I'm doing.
Is
but
that
I'm
what that's
draping
for?
my arm across.
I just always assumed the arm was like in his shirt.
No, it's just like there's a third arm coming out of somewhere, and it's... I don't know why, but it's just tucked over his shoulder.
Like a
It's
little
comforting.
Yeah, and it'll just come out every so often, mostly just to slap Arthur, but there's
here's the
no
thing.
purpose for it.
I didn't get that from the movie at all, but I'm perfectly happy if that's the third arm.
Yeah.
If his third arm's just chilling,
Well,
like
that's
hanging
what
as a
all
scarf.
of his shirts have a third sleeve that are just like a scarf.
I was so sure that I just saw the arm coming out from like in the middle of his shirt, slapping him and then going back inside the shirt.
Rewatch it.
I'm sure, here's the thing, I'm sure you're right, and so I'm perfectly happy with that for a third arm because I think that's clever.
Yeah, the second head thing though, I don't know. That
Here's
I
my
definitely
pitch.
don't.
Unless you have an idea.
No.
My pitch is because the neck thing is weird.
It's so
It
weird.
is,
I
yeah.
don't like it. But my pitch is that he has one head, and it splits into two, and there's but it like literally it's like it splits, and it's still two full heads, and they kind of combine, and it's like his brain is in like a fourth or a fifth dimension. So that way, it's still two heads, two full heads. You're not seeing brain. You're not seeing it cut in half. It's just all of a sudden, sometimes he has two heads, sometimes it's one.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I see. So, like, literally, it just sometimes it splits, like, look at each other, scratches one head, scratches another. Were you thinking it? I don't know. Were you thinking it?
I think that works.
What's going on with the neck in that scenario?
It's
Does it split off into two necks?
Again, for the listeners, I just took my two hands, put them together, and then kept them attached at the base and opened apart into a V.
You went from an I to a V.
There's so many visual gags in this
But
whole podcast.
yes, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay,
Just
alright.
this.
And there's a thing in the books that talks about how the reason why Zaphod decided to be president, the reason why he decided to find Magrathea, is because he put the idea in his own brain and then wiped his brain. And that's kind of why he's a little bit more off. And also, like, that's why he has to find Magrathea. Because and so he put it in his head. He's going to steal the Heart of Gold. He's going to do this thing. He's going to find it.
Yeah.
And he put it in his head, but he still has to become president, so he had to wipe his mind of all of these thoughts.
Yeah, and that's why he's so stupid.
Right. But he
Love
wiped
it.
his mind and then signed it.
Yeah.
So, like, he does a brain scan, and he can see the place where his mind was wiped, and it's signed ZB. And so I really like this idea of him splitting his head apart and then not quite completing it, and you can just see a ZB right where his two brains are about to separate, and then he takes them apart, and it's the two heads, and he puts it back in.
That's
It works.
funny.
Just thought it was dumb. Anyway, that's because I don't like the neck thing.
Yeah.
And then it makes no sense where they
we'll
remove
improve
one of the
Yeah,
heads.
that actually always bothered me. I'm like, how?
Was it just sitting inside?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
How
But it's...
Does his other...
I mean, there's one joke when he, like, scares Arthur by popping his head up, and then it just, because Sam Rockwell's voice is just so hilarious. That
Yeah.
it works for that second, but then, like, everything else, I'm like, I could do without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whoever wants, whatever artist effects team wants to tackle that, go for it.
We leave it to you.
We leave it to you, future artists of America.
So what's something you want to see more of in the movie? What's something that we want to hit home? So we're doing the environmental message. We're doing the
Magrathea.
political thing.
Magrathea.
So, okay, yeah, let's talk about Magrathea. Like, so you want to see these other planets.
Yeah.
But other than that, we kind of want to keep the core story.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to have some of the different things where we stray a little bit more, but... Oh, the end. The thought gun. Or the emotion gun.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't exist in the books. I like it. I don't think it's a problem. And I like that Martin gets it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Marvin.
Marvin, excuse me. Victory sip. What happens
Also thirsty.
what happens in the book is they are tracked down by people trying to bring in the president, and it's these, like, galactic police officers, and they're shooting at them, and then they just die because they're aliens and they're wearing, like, methane suits because they're methane breathers. And they find out that Marvin just went and talked to the ship that was controlling their spacesuits and everything, and just talking to Marvin, just talking. The ship committed suicide, and that was it.
I love that.
And so
in some regard, Marvin should save the day no matter what.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because Marvin's great.
Because Marvin's fantastic.
And potentially the best character.
Yeah.
If not the best
It's
character.
wonderful.
He is great. I don't know how we can recast Alan Rickman, but we're going to try.
Yeah. That was tough. Did I do it? Oh, yeah, no, I'm correct.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the
Very
ones where I thought of it and I was
interested.
like, oh. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm perfectly open to being wrong.
Very curious.
I'm not.
Are you, though?
We'll find out. There's always one that I push a little bit more than the others.
Yes. That's how you win. You put all your eggs
It's in one basket. And then there was this one time where I lost. The other person was right.
and you had nothing.
But it was for the Matrix episode, and so it was our director, and I don't remember who I had, but I remember that she was pitching this person who was, like, a director for, like, the Dirty Dancing movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. But we ended up going with that person anyway. Like, a month later, Crazy Rich Asians came out, and he directed that movie, and we were like, well, Meredith was right.
Yeah.
Don't tell Meredith I said that.
Okay.
We won't tell her, but the podcast
You just
will.
did.
Yeah.
She does listen. It's a problem. Meredith.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job, Meredith.
Good job,
You
Meredith.
were right.
So do you want to talk about casting?
Yeah.
I want to talk about casting. I will
Is there anything
say,
else you wanted to talk about in the movie proper first?
the one side not casting note that I put on here is that, which we've already kind of addressed, is that just now that a lot of movies and things have adapted that nostalgia is cool situation thing, and we can, like, bring back things from, like, older iterations and whatnot, I feel like we have to So Long and Thanks for All the Fish has to be in this remake, either in a new
song?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, great,
in a
done.
new reprised way, whatever.
I'm cool with that.
Wait,
Okay, cool.
What?
So Long and Thanks
So
for All the
long and
Fish.
thanks for all
yes.
the fish.
It has to be in the remake.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's our
We're all
opening.
on the same page.
That's
Great.
our opening
Yeah.
credit song.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's
It's
talk
not
casting.
Hitchhiker's Guide until that happens.
The other two things I wanted to say was when do you want to set this movie? What time period? What Earth time period? Not that really matters for the overall thing of the
It
movie.
doesn't. Current is fine.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still his house is being eminent
to
domain.
have all the tech be modern because our tech now is like futuristic to the 2005 version.
I would love it if it's like Arthur's like, I've got a phone, everything's gonna be okay, and then just like someone takes out like a Kleenex that's like way more technologically advanced than the phone, blows their nose and throws it away, and Arthur's just like, but yeah, no, what you have is cute.
In a way to make the guide even more high tech than
Absolutely.
just an iPhone.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because I mean, it's basically an iPad.
Yeah.
So we got to do something where it's a little bit like, I would be perfectly happy if we do those cutaways where you take the iPad and literally like slap it over his head, and all of a sudden we're seeing the world that he's seeing.
Yeah.
And that's like this big cutaway thing, and then you take it off and
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's do it.
something like that.
A little bit.
Oh, and then I know 42 is a big thing, but honestly, in the book, you don't get that until way late. In the movie, we get it really, really early because the thing about the movie, and this is kind of my core thesis, is that it was clearly made by people who love the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's great. My biggest issue with the movie, other than the bad romance, is I think that they're trying too hard to include all of their favorite bits from the book. I think there's so much in it where they're just like, this part is so great, and this part is so great, and this, like, exactly what you're doing when you watch the movie.
From my perspective of someone who didn't really read the book, I think it all still really, really works.
I think it does too, but I also think that the movie needs to... Some of the jokes work and some of the jokes don't, but I would love it if there were different jokes. Like the things that you were saying, where Zaphod just said these weird other random things.
Yeah.
That's not in the book, and they're great.
No, I know.
And
that's
they're
why
amazing.
I think it's a good mixture.
I'm saying we can encourage
I'm going to
more
fight
unique
hard in
things.
this
Have
whole
it-
thing because I
have-
think the movie's perfect.
Use it as an opportunity to bring more things from the book because it's a second version.
More
of the
things and
movie.
less things, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Different
All right,
books.
here we go.
The joke doesn't need to be verbatim, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, agree to disagree. Casting time.
Where do you want to start for casting?
I mean, I literally went in order of appearance.
That's what
I probably did too. So we're going to start with Arthur?
Yeah.
I will point out that for my casting, my 3 British people are people who had been on the island of Britain. They're British people.
Okay.
Everyone else is, almost everyone else is American.
I'm a mixture. I've got both, but I kind of, for all the characters, I kind of didn't say like this person has to be British or this person has to have an American accent.
I didn't either.
But I went between both because
That's just
why
the
not?
realm I cast my brain in.
Yes.
So let's talk about your Arthur Dent.
I've got 2, and I think one of them is yours.
I totally switched things up.
You
since we
did?
talked.
Oh, no. Okay, well, then I still got 2. My first thought was Donald Gleason, who is, I can't remember names or anything, but he's the guy from Star Wars, the newer ones, and he was in a movie about time with Rachel McAdams, and he was in Black Mirror.
Donald Gleason?
It's spelled Donhnanal.
Oh, okay, that is the person who's coming up.
Yes.
Donald Gleason.
Donald Gleason. He was my first
I
thought
love him.
because he's definitely got some really great.
Oh, he's
Machina.
General Hux.
General
And-
Hux, yeah. He's got some quirky, quiet, but really sweet and charming vibes to him. But then I also thought of, and I can't remember if it was because you said it or I literally just like had the thought and then you were like, oh my god, me too.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe
Just
is an
because
interesting choice.
he is a British man who can wear a bathrobe and can do this whole movie and be comedic and angry.
That's true. Daniel
awkward.
Radcliffe is a good pick, actually.
Yeah.
I like Daniel
he's very
Radcliffe more than I like
hard.
Donald Gleason.
You two now.
Bella, after you.
I had initially written down Daniel Radcliffe, and then I decided that I wanted...
Literally crossed it out. I can see it on your paper.
There's proof! I decided it might be interesting to cast a little younger.
Oh, interesting.
To have it be kind of like young, like teens on an adventure.
Wow.
Interesting.
Which kind of works with the like, there can still be a like love interest, but like keeping it PG.
Yeah.
Or PG-13 if you want to get
I don't
really
care about what
spicy.
the rating is.
Interesting.
I
I see your choice. Oh my god.
just because I think there are so many, because I remember, Sam, you made this kind of like funny dry comment about like, you can't just pick name actors, and I just kept coming up with all these name actors, and I was like, well, there's these awesome emerging young people.
Yes.
And I think that there's a lot of fun British young kids because
I
of that
agree.
wonderful new show, Sex Education. If
Yes.
I could cast everything out of that, I would. So for Arthur, I chose Asa Butterfield.
Asa
Lovely.
Butterfield is an interesting choice.
Lovely.
And so for
It
your
works.
casting for everybody, you went younger?
Not everybody, just the leads, and like if they're romantic interests, then I was like, obviously
Zaphod
also
has to be
20 years older.
Yeah.
To keep it from being creepy. But
I
no,
like
there are
that.
some older
That
people
opens
as
a
well.
whole new realm.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Because then also it's like these kids on this adventure into this adult world. And it kind of made me think of like The Little Prince, where The Little Prince is like this
The movie
child
or the
and-
book, because both are beautiful and amazing.
Both. Because it's relevant to both.
Absolutely.
He's this kid and like he meets all
Have you
these
seen the movie?
adults. He comes
What?
up.
The movie? Have you seen the movie on Netflix?
What movie?
The Little Prince?
No.
You
I was like,
must
have
watch
I?
it.
It's so beautiful.
I
You
know.
will cry.
No, I know. I remember seeing the trailer and
I'm
being
dead
like,
inside.
"Oh, this is going to be the most magical thing ever." And I have a 2-year-old nephew. Or I had a 2-year-old nephew at the time. He's 3 now, and I was like, "This is going to be his movie." And then I never watched it.
It's amazing. And
I
it follows the
know.
book very well.
Good.
Also.
Which is
It has
crazy
beautiful
because the
music.
book's not very long. It's
No, it's not.
100% true to the essence and core of the book, but it's a completely separate movie. It's
It
so
makes
wonderful.
up its own stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's the perfect adaptation as far as I'm concerned.
So yeah, something like that feeling of like these kids are exploring this like universe of, and it's like the adults world, and they're coming into it with this fresh perspective, and everything's being thrown at them, and they have to just kind of like take it all in really quickly, and it's kind of like becomes a coming of age story.
Yeah.
And they get to decide like that. I think it becomes so much more poignant having it be an environmentalist message, and at the end having, what's his name, Slarty
Bartfast.
asking the question like, if you could change anything about Earth, what would it be?
Yeah.
And we're giving that question to the younger generation, which I like.
I love
I agree
that.
with that. I like your entire argument.
Dang, that's smart.
That said, I went in the other direction.
You went even older.
I went mid to late 30s.
No. Oh, okay.
I went mid to late 30s just because I kind of wanted Arthur to be a little bit tired. Like, he had his 20s where he's like, I'm going to go on an adventure and do fun things in my 20s. Although, it's Arthur Dent, he probably didn't.
Yeah.
What Arthur Dent considers an adventure is probably not.
Yeah.
Like me.
Did you cast yourself?
Is it
Sam?
you?
I am not at all British.
No,
I
you're
would
not.
cast you.
That said, I would be casted for this. But I kind of wanted people who are like at the point where they have a life that they're expecting to be living, and then everything changes, and they're just like, why? So I like all of your arguments, and we'll see what happens as we move through casting. But like, I also like, for the comedy's sake, I want someone who isn't excited to be on an adventure. I want someone who is deeply upset to be on an adventure.
Yeah.
Because I find that funnier.
Yeah. I mean, okay, just to interject, Asa Butterfield is like a young old man. And he is so good at being like
Based on this
crotchety.
picture, absolutely.
Yes.
He's just so ahead of his time. And I think that when he is in his mid-30s, he is going to be that character who's like, why didn't you live it up when you could, man?
I just also want a Trillian who's like a multiple PhD.
Yeah,
true.
But
Anyways,
so my person is someone you potentially have not heard of, unless you're such a fan of. Oh, it's not even gonna have his picture. This is gonna be sad for me.
Oh God.
No, he is a very well known British comedian named Josh Widdicombe.
Okay.
He is very short.
He looks like a hobbit.
A little bit. Like,
like
that's the joke kind of that gets made at his expense. Like, he goes on these British panel shows and he's very, very funny, and then they'll just crack a short joke and he's just like, yeah, but I said some funny things, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of his bit. And so that's kind of, and obviously I think we're going to need to end up picking a team of 4 that works well together. Like, we'll have to go through all 4 and kind of like mix and match.
Yeah.
But that's who I have, simply because I think that the world's already beaten him down a lot, and then the universe starts piling on.
Yeah.
And he also happens to be a British comedian, and he's very funny.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I want to check him out now.
And he's not super big.
All right. Interesting.
So I'll go first for Ford, because full disclosure, I wanted to look up a British comedian from Guildford. But because Ford is...
because that's a joke that he's from Guildford.
But when I typed it in, I screwed up the joke and I typed in Barstow. So I have a Ford prefect who is a British comedian from Barstow.
Okay.
Let me pull him up.
Whoa, what?
Oh, no, that's different. That's someone else.
What's
He
happening?
said Marlon Davis death.
So I have a British actor named Marlon Davis.
Okay.
Who is a British actor and comedian, and he's been in a bunch of different things, and I don't know, not as many, but he's a black comedian who happens to be British, who I thought was from the right town, but turns out isn't. That said,
That's all right.
my Trillian is a British comedian from Guildford.
Cool.
You went all British. Amazing.
For these.
Okay.
But that's... So my Ford prefect, I was going for the bit, and then I failed. I still think he's funny, and I still like the idea of casting a black actor, because otherwise it's a pretty white movie.
Yeah.
It is.
But anyway, that's what I had in mind.
That's
Marlon
okay.
Davis.
That influenced
Pulling
one of
for you,
my
buddy.
choices. Okay, I have 2 choices that went in random directions. My first choice is Tessa Thompson, mostly because of the new Men in Black movie that's coming out. She would be just a fantastic sort of I don't know, comedic force to whoever we choose to be Arthur. But also be like sassy and a lady as she is as Valkyrie and in Veronica Mars and other things that she's been in. And then my other choice going the comedian
Are you going to
route.
have 2 choices for
I
everybody?
have multiple choices for a lot of things because I can't decide. And guess what? I love this movie, so deal with it. My other choice went the comedian route, and I picked Ben Schwartz because he would be a really great comedic
Yeah, interesting
also-
choice.
person to riff off.
I'm
of
going to pause
Land
for a
Arthur.
second and say Ben Schwartz would be an excellent Zaphod.
Trust me, he was in the running for Zaphod.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
I have
You're looking at Ben Schwartz?
Yeah, I know who he is, but I just need to see his face.
John
yeah,
Raffia,
yes,
Yeah.
I picked a lot of my favorite comedians for this whole movie. Because
Yeah.
that's the only way I'm going to see this movie
I-
made.
I did the same thing.
Good.
Because it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And the setting is sci-fi,
You
but
want-
the players are comic.
Yeah, you want good comedy. I'm very curious about yours now.
Yeah, tell us about your Ford Prefect.
Donald Glover.
Yes! Yeah, I denounced mine. Donald Glover. That's it.
He's just, I feel like he is the most deaf of
He is
today.
the most deaf of today. He is!
And he was so, and it's kind of like
Holy
calling to his
crap.
performance in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
But also his former comedic background,
Yeah.
but also him being a more serious actor.
and a
Who's Donald
rapper.
Glover?
And
Oh,
a
right.
rapper.
Yeah.
I was like, who's Donald Glover in Star Wars? Oh, right. And I
Childish.
just remembered.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Lando.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking
He's
like the main series, but yeah, Lando. Of course.
Literally. Oh my god. Amazing. I won't settle for anybody else.
If we're gonna recast most deaf, I feel like
That
it
Donald
has
Glover.
to be
Man,
Donald
yes.
I will say it's been a while since we've had well, it has to be Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Because early episodes, it's every episode.
Glover. Really?
Every episode. Like, I had
was
to have
that?
a moratorium on Donald Glover for a while. Because it was every
Well,
episode.
he's
Well,
back,
He's
baby.
pretty fantastic, and he
He
should
is.
do a lot of things.
All right, well, then tell me about your Trillion.
My Trillion is also on the younger side. Amanda Stenberg, which she's
Or
not like.
isn't it like Slenberg or
She
something
might
like
be a
that?
native.
No, but I
may have written it
totally
down
know
wrong.
who you're talking about, and she's fantastic.
She's from The Darkest Minds. Is like
Hold
the
on,
most
spell her
recent-
name?
Oh, no, Amandla. That's
Amandla.
Amandla?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Amandla.
Stenberg.
Stenberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is an
She's-
interesting name.
Beautiful. She's
Very
she
smart.
is. I feel like she's just the right amount of nerdy too. Like she can be
Yeah.
extremely elegant. She can play a little bit older, but she's also very youthful.
Oh, she's Rue in the Hunger Games.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's a little older now.
She's
so.
and she's done a lot of very.
I strongly considered her for something for next episode, but
Oh,
ended up
interesting.
going with someone else.
interesting.
That's
So, when you listen to the episode that comes out in 2 weeks, listener, see if you can figure out who it is.
Now I'm gonna try and think of who it is because I know which episode you're talking about.
Yeah.
Curious.
But
Oh, I like that.
I like her a lot.
So I love the idea of it being Asa and then Amanda because Asa is great, but he does have that like kind of grumpy old man quality, and
Yeah.
then Amanda is just
She's
like
live
this
and
light
vivacious
and strong, and she could be kind of I feel like she could take a little bit more of the lead
Yeah.
against him,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they would have really great chemistry together too.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I like her a lot, but I can't combine her with any of my people. My people are too old. My Trillion is a British comedian from Guildford who I found when I realized I typed in the wrong thing. And it is a British comedian. Let's see if she has a picture that shows up. Named Holly Walsh. Sure doesn't.
Okay.
Oh, I recognize her.
And
Oh.
I've also seen her in a bunch of like British panel things, and she's one of those people who's just so sweet and kind and funny, and she doesn't necessarily play someone at the height of their intelligence, and that's why I think it's funny if you come in and you're like blonde hair, blue eye, expectation about the sort of person that she is, and then she's the smartest person there. She's saying all the lines. She's like, no, I'm the mechanical engineer, I'm the mathematician, I'm the one who can fix the ship, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, and also I find her very funny.
Mm.
And she
Cool.
happens to be a British person from Guildford.
Yes. Well, then you balanced out your
my,
misstep.
my failure.
Ford.
Got somebody from Guildford.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Amazing.
It really is.
Amazing.
We need to honor Guildford a little bit more.
A little
with
bit
this-
more.
with this remake.
And also, she's just hysterically funny.
Love
I
it.
feel like I saw her
Love funny
perform
people.
It's
in
possible.
London.
Oh, yeah. I
Whoa.
mean, if you were in London, then yeah, it's a
think I
good
saw
That would
possibility.
be incredible.
Yeah, she looks so familiar. I'm pretty sure.
Do one of her bits right now.
Oh, yeah. I actually kept a little book, and I bring
Where
it
I
around
wrote down
with
all
me.
the other people's jokes.
Yeah. I went to London,
And then
I
I
stole a bunch
share
of
it.
comedians' jokes,
It's
and then I
good
brought
we've
it back
never
to
heard
America.
Amazing.
Bethany, who do you have for
Wait,
trillion?
you didn't say Ford.
My Ford was
He's
Marlon
at-
Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
I went
Okay,
first
sorry.
for that one.
Goodness
I already
gracious.
forgot. It's because he's from Barstow.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm going to spit out a few people here. Not because I couldn't choose, but I could just see any of these 4 women doing it. First thought, Lake Bell, because she's freaking fantastic.
I don't know who that is.
Lake Bell was in the movie In a World. It's an indie film, but she's done a lot of smaller indie movies. She's a fantastic comedian. She's super smart, super wonderful. She's going to be in a new show with Dax Shepard coming out, which I just found out about, and I'm really excited to watch because I love both of them.
Fucking love her.
So I thought about her. I thought Rachel Bloom, because she's a fantastic,
Ooh,
lovely
Rachel Bloom's
lady.
a good choice.
That.
With all the check marks. Another one with all the check marks, Kristen Bell.
Look,
'Cause
my love for
she's-
Kristen Bell knows no bounds.
Yes. Don't know if she could be Trillian, but, like, I could see her. Yeah, she can do anything because she's Kristen Bell. And then lastly, I did pick a British person, Emilia Clarke, because I feel like after Game of Thrones, she's got to do something, and she's got comedy chops. And she's also super smart.
What comedy has she been in?
She's been in... I mean, she's been in...
Emilia Clarke is Daenerys Stormborn if you're not up
Yeah.
on Game of Thrones
She's
listener.
been in,
but
like, a few rom-coms, but mostly just, like, her interviews. She's just really funny. She's got a really good, like,
Yeah, I can
comedic
see her.
base level.
interesting.
What's that?
Yeah.
Huh. Those
And
are good.
She's got, like, yeah, just a good sense of dry humor. But I probably, of those 4, would be Rachel Bloom is probably my top, or Lake Bell.
Of all of those, I would lean most towards Rachel Bloom.
Yeah.
Although Holly
Fantastic.
Walsh is great.
Yeah. And then she could
And
do
also,
a musical number.
British. Okay, well then, you're up for Zaphod.
All right. Isabella and I had the same idea, mostly because I recently, because I'm super late to the game, watched Maniac for the first time. And there's a lot of, which is the Netflix TV show with Emma Stone and, what's his face?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. But there were a lot of, like, random things in that where I was like, oh my god, that's oddly Hitchhikers. But of those actors, Justin Theroux is just a fantastic...
The British Prime Minister?
No. Justin Theroux. The
Not
American-
Trudeau.
Not Trudeau.
Thorough.
He's an incredible comedic actor. He's been in so many things, but he's just hilarious, and he has total Sam Rockwell vibes.
Yeah.
I also put down Thomas Middleditch, a la Ben Schwartz line, because he's just hilarious and has great physical comedy and improv skills, and I love him. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to list 8 more people.
Thank
Narrowed
you.
it down to 2.
Narrowed it down to 2.
I also narrowed my Zaphod down to 2.
All right.
For the younger cast, I said Dylan O'Brien.
Tell me about
because
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien got big off of the Teen Wolf remake. And he's done a lot. He was in Maze... The
Maze Runner?
No, not Maze. Was it Maze Runner? No. It was a bunch of teenagers who have to run through the maze. Maybe that was Maze Runner.
Yeah, it's Maze Runner.
He is, like, in a lot of teen... Like, he would
Spell
have
it
been...
Dylan
Dylan.
O'Brien?
Dylan.
Oh, yeah,
D-Y-L-A.
Oh,
From Teen Wolf. He's very funny.
He's very funny. And he was discovered, I think, because of his YouTube channel. And
Yes.
he's, like, this amazing...
He had it. I watched his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then I saw him on Teen Wolf, and I was like, holy crap, he's so funny.
He's
and then
got a-
I thought his career declined from that point. But
That's what I... So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, I want him to be in something like this, because he's now, I think, underrated as a comedic performer. 'Cause
Yeah.
He just became this, like, teen heartthrob, and he was in all
he
these,
was
like...
franchised. And he-
like
Interesting.
young
Yeah.
adult novel adaptation movies, and
Yeah.
now you look even just watching his interviews. I watched this interview
so
where he
funny.
was with a bunch of puppies and he was like laying on the ground, and it was very like young Jim Carrey, and his facial expressions are amazing. And so I
Yeah.
feel like if you gave a role to him like Zaphod Beeblebrox and just let him go, he would be very, like, young Sam Rockwell-esque, where he just isn't afraid to go big.
Yeah.
And I think paired with Asa and Amanda, it's the right age group. And you could see how, like, he's so cute and so charming, but also could be, like, I think he can also easily play the, like, young, dumb American.
Really goofy.
Bro who's like, I don't know what's going on, but like, wanna grab a...
Yeah, but everybody loves me,
lemon
so.
squeeze? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. I like it. I'm into it.
So that's my younger Zaphod. And then if anybody wants an older, I thought Andy Samberg would be another good one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Andy Samberg's a zany choice.
He is a zany choice.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Those are my,
My Zaphod is an actor who was in Venom. He's in Knocked Up, a bunch of other things.
Okay.
I was researching people, and I found this comedian, and he has a special called Good Guy. And Good Guy opens with the line, I want to be a good guy. And that should be your first clue that I'm a bad guy.
very Zaphod.
And that is the most Zaphod sentence I ever heard, that I paused that and picked him.
Amazing.
And then I went and watched the rest of the special. The performer's name is Nick Thune.
Oh, yeah. I know Nick Thune.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He's very funny. And he's weird, and, like, he like, this is one classy-ass motherfucker.
Oh my god, he's so perfect.
And that's kind of why I wanted him. And just because, like, he can play classy, but he also can just play, like, a drugged-out, like, person the guy who invented the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Yeah.
I saw him perform at UCB.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's hilarious.
Which is why we should go exclusively with people you've seen perform.
Yeah.
like Holly.
Like Holly.
I also stole a bunch of
from
stuff from Nick.
Well, you'll notice that, like, I made that joke and then I literally read you a joke that he said that I wrote down.
Incredible.
And we're like, wow, that's so good, Sam.
Honestly, watch his stand-up special. I literally, like, after I finished coming up with the list, I took a break from doing my list to watch the 20-minute intro, because his stand-up special opens with a 25-minute long story.
Incredible.
And it's all on YouTube, and it's great.
Well, at least, unlike Shia LaBeouf, you did not plagiarize, and you let everyone know that it was not your joke.
Yes.
Yes. Because otherwise it doesn't work for the casting.
Good
But yes. Good callback to something from before we were recording.
Where's that? Oh, shoot. That was before the mic is on. The night is a blur.
That was still great, though.
The night is a blur.
So great.
Those are kind of our four main people.
Yes.
And we have to make a decision if we want to go older or we want to go younger.
I still think Donald Glover can work for no matter what.
Yeah. I think he can, too.
Yeah.
Because he's not a romantic
And so I think we can go with Donald Glover for Ford Prefect pretty solidly.
Good job, Isabella. You nailed it. You nailed it.
And with that in mind, I would still suggest Nick Thune for our Zaphod.
I honestly think that he could work with younger, too.
He's 39.
It doesn't... He looks like he could be younger.
He does look like that. He's 39.
It's okay.
Your Amalda's 20. He is double her age.
She is of age.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, we are going to have to make some decisions. I think Donald Glover is a good pick for Ford regardless.
Yes.
So, of the people we named, I'm a big fan of Josh Whitcomb, but the other one that I really like is I do like Daniel Radcliffe. I feel like he is absolutely team bathrobe.
And he would be a good driving force for people of both indie and blockbuster to see.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, he's still Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And just to have Harry Potter be in a world, he is. And he's great. And if he's in a world where it's like, well, magic doesn't exist.
Yeah, it works.
And so that's who I would go with for Arthur Dent. Now, the thing is, I really, really like your Trillian, but she's 20.
Yeah.
I do. Wait, who did you have again for your Trillian?
Amanda.
I do like her, but yeah.
Remind me who your Trillian was?
We landed on Rachel Bloom.
Rachel Bloom. I could see Rachel Bloom as being highly competent.
Yeah.
Competent. I don't know that I see her with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, chemistry with Daniel Radcliffe.
But that's the thing. I agree. Because I don't...
You don't care about the romance.
I don't care about the romance at all. I think it's more funny if it was like, oh yeah, no, we're the last two humans, and we're not really that into each other.
Yeah. I could just have it be like a team-up best friendship, in which case I can see them as a very funny duo.
Mm-hmm. Because one of the big things for me in the books is in the 4th book, they introduced a love interest for Arthur, who I absolutely love, and she's amazing. And then in the 5th book, she's gone and he's dating Trillian, and I hate it. And I just want... I want
who
her
knows?
back.
Maybe Daniel Radcliffe and Rachel Bloom will have chemistry that we have no idea
they'll
about.
fall in love in real life and have lots of babies.
Rachel Bloom's married.
She's
married.
very happily married.
And I'm pretty sure
he
Daniel
is,
Radcliffe
too.
is also married.
To someone
You
who met on
know?
the set of Harry Potter, she was a PA.
Oh, that's
Which
so
is
sweet.
Fantastic.
lovely.
That's everybody's dream, but it's not. She's the exception.
Yeah.
I listened, were you listening to the episode of How Did This Get Made, where it was the two of them talking about a movie?
No, my sister just relayed all this to me, so she probably listened to that.
And I don't care about celebrity gossip, but like as I slowly realized over the course of the episode of, oh, these two are seeing each other.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these two are adorable.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All right. Okay.
All right, he and Rachel can just be friends.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Daniel Radcliffe
And Rachel Bloom.
I love that.
and then Nick Thune.
Nick Thune for Zaphod for sure.
Totes.
Yay! Good job, team.
We did it. Everyone gets something.
Everybody gets something.
So now is the character that we're going to cast that we are going to fight to the death about.
Okay.
Let's talk about Marvin.
Oh!
I'm willing to go first because you'll just feel bad and surrender. Are you comfortable with that?
Okay. I'm real curious now, so I do want you to go
Yeah,
first.
just say it.
The actor that I've cast has been doing is a stand-up, has been doing comedy for years and years and years.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, he's also a voice actor, so I don't necessarily see him being the walk-around robot, but
Right.
that also wasn't the case in the movie that we watched.
in the movie, no.
It was, shoot.
I
It
literally-
was Warwick Davis.
It was Warwick Davis, yeah. I was like, I literally just looked this up.
You have definitely seen him on Just Shoot Me. You've heard his voice in Steven Universe and in other cartoons, and he's great, and you've seen his comedy, because as soon as I say the name Brian Posehn, you know who I'm talking about.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. No idea whatsoever.
Wow, that was anticlimactic.
That was super anticlimactic.
Everyone who's listening is like, "Oh, right, Brian Posehn, of course." Because if you're in the comedy world, you know who Brian Posehn is.
Funny that you say he's a voice actor, because now that I'm looking at his face, I know exactly who he is.
I totally know who he is, but
I don't even
did not
think
know
that
his
he did-
name.
He just should be... He should be a human-looking robot, because
should be
I love the way he looks,
He
too.
should be a vocal.
And he talks like this,
Yeah.
but then also like it's really sad.
Yeah.
And
He's kind of an Eeyore.
he's such an Eeyore.
Yeah.
It could work.
And that's his shtick. And
could work.
like he's been on the Sarah Silverman program, and and everyone loves him. He's just a great special guy.
Okay.
Great.
I want to go last.
Okay.
You think
Mine is-
that'll be it? You
yeah.
think that's how we'll go with you?
Yeah.
All right.
Mine is a stolen suggestion from former and future podcast guest Zach Luna. Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress is a good choice.
He's
for
got
if
such
we did
a specific
yeah.
voice, and he also is really good at blunt but dark,
Yes.
sort of matter-of-fact realizations. So that was my choice.
I think Hannibal Buress is a good one-for-one for the Marvin that we have as he is now.
Yeah.
Just the depressive. Well,
Noticing everything.
Life's
and,
bad.
Yeah, just pointing things out. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's pretty much, that's his deal. It could work. But
Hannibal
that's
Buress,
mine.
you familiar with him, Bella?
No, I'm not.
Oh, let me look up his picture.
I just did.
Remember Broad City? That guy?
Oh.
In
He's also a stand-up
Spider-Man Homecoming, he is. In
It's a-
Spider-Man
he's his
Homecoming,
gym
he's
teacher.
You should.
I
I'm not lending
Yeah,
you
you
another
really
DVD because you
should.
didn't bring back any of the ones you currently have borrowed from me.
Yeah, you really should.
I keep meaning to bring them every time I come.
I'm sure you do.
They're all safe and sound. I have them.
Uh-huh.
I will bring them back.
Well, now I'm really curious. What's yours?
Who is this KO knockout punch?
I would like for Marvin the Robot to be voiced by Bill Nye.
The science guy?
Bill Nye. The OG Slarty Barty Fest.
Oh.
You don't know who Bill Nye is?
I don't recognize him by
You're
that
spelling
name.
it wrong. It's Knighy.
No, isn't it Nighy?
Yes.
There's no
There's
K.
no K.
There's no K.
K-Ed. So
You're doing it wrong.
a charming
Okay.
Because he is of the same ilk as Alan Rickman.
He is.
He's
Every time I see him,
respected-
would be a great throwback.
I expect him to tell me that Christmas is all around us.
Yes.
Come on and let it
He
snow.
has a very Eeyore vibe, too.
He does.
His voice is enough like Alan Rickman that I think it would be familiar enough, but also it's nice because he was in the original.
Yeah.
And
I cast him in several other parts in my remake, so we
Several?
gotta have him
he's
in
gonna
there.
be in it.
He's gotta be
the
in
beloved, he's the beloved father of
And he's
the
Bill
universe.
Nye. He is. He built the planets. He loves doing the coastlines.
Not all of them.
He helped with Norway.
Yeah,
okay.
He got an award for Norway.
Yeah. There's something too about him, that the role of the depressed robot being passed on to him, that it's this is a new generation and he was kind of always destined to become this just voice of the robot. I don't know.
He is good casting. I don't think any of us have failed at this job. I think every single one that we've come up with is good.
Do you?
But they're all very, very different.
Yeah.
They are very, very different.
It just depends on what we're going for.
Yours is classic British. Yours is deep in the Depression. And mine is someone who, whenever he opens his mouth, you want him to die. Which is the way everyone thinks about Marvin.
No, I don't think that about Marvin.
No, we don't.
about
But everyone who
Marvin.
interacts with Marvin.
Yes.
I mean, he has to be someone who,
to get an entire army to kill themselves.
get an entire army to commit suicide, get a ship's computer to commit suicide.
And I do think both of your choices are more likely for you to really oh, I want Marvin to be okay.
Yeah.
Whereas Hannibal Buress is yeah, he's right.
This is a weird separate thing, but in the movie, his eyes are green. In the book, his eyes are red.
Huh.
If you could pick any color for Marvin's eyes, what color would you pick?
Green.
Green.
You would pick green?
Yeah.
Or brown.
Red just implies
Evil.
mean.
I don't disagree, but I would pick blue because he's sad.
That's a calming color too.
Yeah.
Or brown.
Or literally the color of that pool outside. Just no, it's too dark.
The color of your wall.
The wall's a good one.
I
I also wanted to make that joke.
Good. That's good. Good.
But literally, I would be happy if they made the joke my eyes are capable of displaying a visual display of the emotion I'm currently feeling. I've never seen your eyes anything other than blue. I know.
Yeah.
God.
All right. So we pick between the two. I feel like we can fit Bill Nye in here somewhere else.
Probably can. I'm happy to come back to Marvin.
I've got thoughts.
I'm happy to
to
come back to Marvin.
Okay.
I am, however, going to go to another AI.
Yes.
Did either of you recast Eddie the computer?
Yes.
Okay. Once again, I'm pretty sure I've got this one, but I'll let you two go first this
God.
time.
I don't know if you do.
Let's find out.
Ben Schwartz.
Alright.
But he...
Yep.
This is going to be weird.
Do you have Bill Nye again?
No. Joe Rogan.
Interesting choice.
Very interesting
That might be your first miss.
Because...
So many hits.
I think that it would be funny if it's this familiar voice that everybody knows and
I
just
don't know if
I don't know if I'd recognize Joe Rogan's
Really?
voice.
I mean, I definitely know Joe Rogan's voice when I see him talking.
Right.
But if it was
Like-
just the voice alone,
I need the context of you're listening to Joe Rogan. Okay, this is who
Yeah,
this
yeah.
white dude is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a slightly
just-
tough guy voice.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted.
That is not what that computer is, but fine.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. Or
The other option was Rob Lowe.
That's funny.
I kind of love that way better.
But we
than
can't
Joe
use
again.
Rob Lowe anymore. He's ruined forever.
Why?
Why?
Look it up later.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I just
Rob Lowe's a bad person.
totally ruined that.
Sorry.
2 misses.
No, Rob Lowe's. Rob Lowe's a good choice, except we can't use Rob Lowe anymore.
Alright.
Because remember last time we did this, I had to pick, and you guys we can't use him anymore. I'm like, oh no.
Oh.
My Eddie the computer is John Mulaney.
Oh my God,
yeah.
100%.
You won.
Yeah.
That's so much better. Yeah. Ideal.
How did we
Ideal.
not all come up with
I
that?
know. Or like he be Marvin?
That's
No.
He's
But
too
Eddie's
upbeat.
happy
He's
and
too
silly.
upbeat. That's why he has to be Eddie the computer,
Yeah.
because the computer's too
God, that
upbeat,
works.
and Marvin hates him.
Oh, it works
Yeah.
so well. I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Oh my God.
Moving on. Done.
The next person...
Why didn't you go first?
Because it was more fun this way.
I don't even. I
Yeah.
wish I'd never spoken.
I feel embarrassed.
Let's talk about Slarty Bartfast. Slarty Bartfast is the one that I think there's a good chance we've all got the same person.
Nope, not a chance in hell.
Okay.
Okay.
Bethany and I for sure have the same person.
Yes, we
Wait,
do.
because it's Stephen Fry.
No.
Damn.
That's good though.
That is a good one.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
because Stephen Fry has been involved in the movies. He's been involved in the
You're
movies,
hitting the table.
the audiobooks. Like, he's been involved in this series
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
And, like, to have him play literally the old man who's seen this before,
Yes.
I like that.
that's why I have him.
Physically, I can't picture him, but yeah, I can see that. Okay.
I have some recasting ideas.
Your timing is great.
Yeah. I'm very curious. I wrote, can it still be Bill Nighy?
Yeah.
But I also wrote Simon Pegg.
I like
Simon
He
Pegg
would
would be
be
good.
a wonderful choice. I also wrote him for narrator because I love Simon Pegg's voice and he would be a good narrator.
He would be.
I originally had him as Zaphod.
Oh my god!
Oh, interesting.
He's so much older now though. I can't
I know.
picture him.
I actually almost had him as a director.
He would also be a very good director.
I didn't.
Yeah, like the Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Those guys would be
Yeah.
great for this.
Yeah. I put Nick Frost in here too for something.
Yeah. So who's your Slarty Bartfast?
Yeah.
Mine is, I might not be saying his name right, but Rhys Ifans.
Yes.
He's a Welsh actor.
Isn't that... Wait, hold on. I'm going to wait until the picture comes up so I can... Yes. Oh, yes.
I have no idea who this guy is.
It's the guy from The Amazing Spider-Man. He's the lizard.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the only reference I can make. He's been in many other things.
Yeah, he's in so many things.
So many things, but that's the
They're
first
making
thing.
another Kingsman movie? Oh, whatever. All right.
But now that you've mentioned Stephen Fry as Slarty Bartfast, I wonder if Rhys could be a candidate for Marvin. Because he also has a very good...
He's a deep, dry British voice.
Yeah, and he's very good. He's kind of that type of character if you ever saw Notting Hill, the Julia Roberts and Hugh
You
Grant
mean
movie.
the one thing that I'm always told, hey, you look like Hugh Grant in Notting Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen it.
That one.
I'm sorry, but you have the haircut. It's never
It's
gonna
not.
not be that
It's.
answer.
Yeah. I don't disagree. My smile's similar. It's the whole thing.
You have the same accent.
I do.
You are Hugh Grant. What the hell?
I am very upper crust Britishy.
Yeah.
So Rhys plays his roommate, his like slobby, kind of depressed roommate.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of Marvin a little bit.
I mean, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not opposed to that.
So that's my vote.
I already think Stephen Fry should be Slarty Bartfast.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I've
Let's go with
chosen.
Stephen Fry for Slarty Bartfast, but let's go with Rhys Ifans for Marvin.
Yeah.
I think that's clever.
Yeah, that's kind of a
Unexpected.
unexpected twist.
But people
But
would recognize
great.
his voice, but kind of be like,
he has a very
Here's the thing.
soothing
I don't
voice,
necessarily
too.
want people to recognize the voice because when we see the person, we're like, oh, it's that person, we move on. I want it to be one of those people where he has a good voice and he has a good demeanor, and I don't want us to be sitting here thinking, where do I know that voice from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's
I
why...
think he's good because he's, like, obscure enough that you're not going to be distracted by it, but he is
really good at it.
He could sound a little bit like Alan Rickman.
I don't want him to sound like Alan Rickman. I want him to sound like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The only other person that I have before writer-director is the narrator.
Okay.
Let's do that last. So other than narrator, who else did you two recast?
Deep Thought.
Cast Deep Thought.
Which I'm cool with.
The whale voice.
Me too.
Oh, interesting.
Questular Ron Talk.
And Hamakavula.
Who's Questular Ron Talk?
Is the woman who's...
Oh, the vice president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did kind of cast her too, actually. And Hamakavula.
Me too.
Great.
Hamakavula!
And special guest performance of Bad Vogon, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, I literally just wrote down Tywin Lannister for a Vogon.
Tywin Lannister sounds too proper for a Vogon.
No, that's why. That's why I thought it was great.
Andrew Manley.
Yeah.
For all the Vogons.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a deep cut reference that if you don't listen to the episode and Zach doesn't listen to the episode, no one will get.
You guys made a reference to Andrew Manley and Bedknob, so our audience knows who Andrew
I
Manley is.
didn't.
You both discussed him, and I sat there quietly and was
now,
like...
here's the thing. Did I leave that in the episode?
Yes, you did.
I did? Shoot.
Trying to get him work, guys. I was going to keep suggesting.
Colorado College, you kids.
Deep Thought, Whale, the vice president, the losing guy.
I
don't care about the other person because I think there's more interesting things for us to do.
Who?
Hamakavula?
I don't care about Hamakavula at all.
But it's John Malkovich!
I know! And he does nothing!
You're crazy.
He shows up, he's a cool special effect, and then he takes off the...
idea.
We can talk about it because I think that your ideas are great. I just don't give a shit about that character.
Okay, well, other people do,
We
so
do.
you have
All
to
right.
you kind of have to set yourself aside here.
Ah.
I personally, my choice for Hamakavula was Sam Rockwell. Let's have him come back and be Hamakavula.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Literally pure that comedy. That's it.
So Deep Thought, the Whale, Hamakavula, the VP lady. That's it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I cast the Mouse Kids, but nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody
cares.
About the Mouse Kids.
No. We appreciate you taking the time to find some child actors, so why don't you tell us about these child actors right
Let
now?
me introduce the world to Brendan Sims and Ivy George.
I know who Ivy George is.
And I may have cast Brendan Sams before.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think it's Sims. Like Bethany's favorite.
Like my favorite game.
He's from Shameless.
Oh, this kid's way young.
Baby. No, that's his old photo. He's much bigger now.
Oh, he's been in Shameless. I actually haven't cast this kid before.
He's so cute.
I know Ivy George too. She's so flippin' cute.
Yeah, Ivy George plays Amabella in Big Little Lies.
I like them both.
She's got a creepy face too.
Yeah. Looks like she's plotting the demise of the universe.
She looks like she's an old ancient lady, but also a child.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Those are my children.
They're wonderful choices. I'm really glad you found them.
Thank you. I did it all myself.
And then, who did you have for Hamakavula? Did we say that?
I had Andy Serkis.
Ooh, yes. Done. I like it. And with that, Sam rolled his eyes and wrote down Andy Serkis.
Fine. Let's go with the character I care about even less. Tell me about who you had for the VP lady.
Lena Headey.
Cersei Lannister.
Oh, cool. Ooh, I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Mostly just because I'm watching a lot of Game of Thrones, and she's just,
magnificent.
she's that actress of that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense, right? Cool.
Yeah, she's Sarah Connor.
I had Sonoya Mizuno. She was the nerdy scientist in Maniac who's in love with
Oh,
the guy.
with Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care about these
And
characters.
she's in love with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
She's sexy, she's nerdy, she's smart, she's a little bit devious. I think she's great.
She's got a cool haircut.
You two decide between yourselves. I don't care about these characters, so do whatever you think.
I mean, clearly. None of
Both
us
of
do.
them are great.
Both.
Spell Sonoya's last name?
Mizuno.
Okay, so then let's talk about Deep Thought and The Whale.
Alright.
Yeah.
Two people who I think should be recast.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone for them, but I'm excited to hear what you two have. Let's talk about Deep Thought first.
Okay. Again, I picked another Game of Thrones person. Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh yeah, Gwendolyn Christie's great.
Who does she play?
She's Brienne of Tarth.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
she's just got a great lady British accent. And I love
Absolutely.
her. So she would do well. Or Emma Thompson. But
I had
Gwendolyn
Emma
Christie,
Thompson
yeah.
at first too,
Yeah.
and then I changed it to Viola Davis.
Oh,
She's
interesting.
sassy, but she's got this like very rich, deep
She
voice.
does have a very rich
I would
voice.
say she is like today's Helen Mirren.
Yes. Of
Yeah.
a non-British
American
accent.
Right.
version.
The
yeah.
American, yeah.
Yeah. I also just like
That said-
her not being an old British white woman.
I really
Yeah.
like your pick.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, Gwendolyn
She
Christie's
just has
great.
such a wonderful, sarcastic
She's
voice.
royal.
I would,
She's royal.
if I had to choose, I would choose Gwendolyn Christie.
Cool.
Okay. I'm very curious who your whale is.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go
Bethany
first?
went first on the last one.
Yeah,
Okay.
you go first.
I have Daniel Kaluuya because of his final scene in the Black Mirror episode that I think got him on the map, where he's basically
He's the actor from Get Out.
doing
Yes, that's what I
like
thought. Oh my
a
god.
rap of like existential crisis
Interesting.
at the end, and I was like, he would be so amazing in this split second of just like basically Daniel Kaluuya rapping. Like, what am I?
I kind of love that. That's very nice. Mine was Nick Frost. Because I'm like, he can do a dumb boy
Yes.
rant falling from the sky.
I wrote down Daniel Kaluuya, though.
Okay,
I like
that's
that.
who we're going with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the other person we have before we get into writer-director is our narrator.
Yes.
So, I guess since you both talked a bunch, I guess I should talk about who I have for my narrator.
Who is your narrator, Sam?
My narrator is someone who I think is the ultimate British narrator. I love this guy's voice so much. There are two people who've read the Harry Potter books, like has done the narration for the Harry Potter books. There's Stephen Fry.
Yeah, and then
there's Jim Dale.
This was Zach's suggestion for this.
Yeah.
And I approve. Because he's
And
fantastic.
He also is the guy who's the narrator in Pushing Daisies. He says pie maker.
Yes.
And I can't do it because it's so
Perfect.
chocolatey and delicious, his words.
I'm super
then he
fine
also-
with this choice.
Did the Night Circus.
And he's just wonderful.
It's so good. Have you ever listened to The Night Circus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Jim
it's
Dale.
Wonderful.
The Night Circus is one of those few books where I'm like, I really enjoy audiobooks, but like there's sometimes where it's like, audiobook, book, whatever.
Yeah.
The Night Circus, you need to listen to it.
Oh my god, it's so entrancing.
Highly agree. All right.
I picked David Attenborough
Interesting.
Hmm.
Why David Attenborough?
because, like, as a joke of like, it's because of all the beginning like nature shots,
Oh,
and then
Yeah.
it's just the
that's
whole,
a
like
that's a
environmentalist
good
thing.
reason to
I
pick
think
him.
it's funny to be like, this is a movie about Earth and the universe, and it's David Attenborough.
Yeah.
that's a great reason to pick David Attenborough.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a little joke.
It's a good.
It's funny.
For the
I
nature of
I
joke.
normally hate jokes, but
Yeah.
this is a good one.
Well
You know, Sam,
done.
I'm not big on humor, but
Well done.
it's a
Oh
nice
my god, David Attenborough's 92.
highbrow joke.
Holy moly.
We better make this soon if we want him to be in it.
Someone just go get him to read
Right?
every word.
Look at him sitting here with this giant egg.
Incredible. Incredible.
Bethany, who did you have?
I picked Simon Pegg, but
Oh, that's
hands
right, you did
down,
say that.
Jim Dale wins over Simon Pegg in my mind. So even though
Are
Simon
you okay
Pegg
with that?
is
I'm
lovely,
fine with Jim Dale. Jim Dale is a star.
he should be more of a star, even
Yeah.
though we all know and love him already.
That said, full marks for David Attenborough, because that was brilliant.
Very good idea.
Yeah, I love all of that.
But we didn't. Okay. I'm just sad about Bill Nye, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, we didn't put him in at all.
Fine.
He can be the mice.
Too.
Can he be the bowl of petunias?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's the bowl of petunias.
I'm happy.
amazing.
So that brings me to writer and director. Now, did you both have separate writer-director, or did one of you
Yes.
have a writer-director?
I had a writer-director.
Okay. So then let's have Bella and I talk about our writer, then you'll talk about your writer-director, and then we'll talk about our directors.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like to go first for writer, or would you like me to?
You can.
Okay. My writer has written for Firefly.
Ooh.
He's written for Agent Carter.
Lovely.
And he's currently working on The Tick. He is he's a very, those are the three that I pulled. But he is a very prolific writer who's worked on all sorts of, weird sci-fi things. And this dude's a massive nerd. He worked on some Star Wars stuff. He had Sleepy Hollow, Vampire Diaries, Grimm.
Dang.
Star Wars Clone Wars, Castle. This writer is named Jose Molina.
Okay.
And he is great.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so I first heard about Jose Molina because he and a friend of his named Javier Grillo Marxwatch have a podcast called The Children of Tendu, which hasn't updated in a long time. But basically, they are two writers who are very, very big on promoting other writers. They want to help other writers, and they want to do what they can to help the writing community. And so I agree with them as people that, they're doing what they can to help the people around them. So I like him as a person. Yeah. And then I like the things he's worked on, because frankly, anyone who's ever worked on Agent Carter, I think, should work forever.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. And so that's what I have for my writer, Jose Molina.
Lovely.
Cool. My writer, I wish it could be Douglas Adams again, because I just want him to keep writing.
When did he die?
He died a while ago.
A really
long time ago.
Before the movie.
Yes.
I just want to honor him and say I wish it could be him, that's all.
And I respect that. He will certainly get a story by credit, because it's based on the works by Douglas Adams.
I know.
He will be credited in this movie.
Yes, so well done. You succeeded already.
Guys, I just want everyone to know that Douglas Adams wrote this originally, okay?
Who? Oh, right. I hate jokes. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Terrible.
I picked Charlie Colville, who's a woman.
Oh.
And she wrote for it.
Spell her last name?
Covell. She's a very hip-looking woman.
Oh.
She wrote for The End of the Effing World. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who oddly looks like Asa Butterfield.
She really does.
She looks like female blondie.
Oh.
Incredible.
That's great.
I just loved the tone. So I was trying to think of what things have I seen recently that sort of have this tone, and immediately thought of The End of the Effing World.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
okay.
I think that that's a fun one because it's it's not sci-fi, but it does have this adventure quality to it, but then it also very much has the quirky, dry British humor.
Oh, she wrote on Peep Show.
Sort of nihilistic thinking.
Yeah.
And
she
I love
wrote on
that
Misfits
she's a woman.
and The In-Betweeners.
Yeah, and
you're winning.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah, I really like this pick.
I'm into it. I'm into it a lot.
I think she's amazing. I as much as I love Jose Molina, right now Charlie Colville is winning for me.
I think that Jose Molina would try to promote Charlie Colville.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree with you.
I think I'm fine with picking her as writer, because my writer-director is more you'll see when I explain, but my director choice that I also was just and he could write it, just because I love his vibes, I love his tone, and I feel like he could really nail it, is Taika Waititi. But I was also just thinking in general of Flight of the Conchords vibes. Brett McKenzie could also be a good writer for this, in cahoots with Taika Waititi. Even though obviously New Zealand humor and British humor are very different things.
Yeah.
But there also is sort of a dry parallel between the two, and I just also think Taika is really, really good at adventure comedies and making everything fun and working with actors to get the best comedy chops out of it, and that's really all I care about as a creator / audience member. So yeah, Taika's my choice for everything all the time.
Yeah, you and a lot of people.
I love him. I love him. And it's not just because of Thor Ragnarok. I recently saw an upcoming film of his, which is going to be probably my favorite movie ever. So,
I mean, What We Do in the Shadows is fantastic.
What We Do in the Shadows is truly amazing.
I love it.
And
I need to watch that TV show. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. And just
that's right. They made it too.
Yeah, it's out now.
It just came out. So, yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't worry. You're not
my
that
new addiction.
Behind.
But yes, I need to watch What We Do in the Shadows.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Bella, who do you have for your director?
I picked, well, okay, this isn't my pick, but I just wanted to throw out there, I think it would be very interesting if Wes Anderson did a take on this. Not at all my pick. It just was a thought that occurred to me, and I was like, that would be really
What happened if Wes Anderson did Hitchhikers? Like, that's one of those, like, MasterCard commercials, like, from a whole reference.
Literally, the way the Earth would be destroyed is it would be a ball of yarn, and we would just watch the string slowly get pulled away.
Yeah. From an above angle shot.
That's what it, yeah.
Cool.
So
Marvin would be like, literally, you would just see Marvin in front of the screen, and it would be a puppet.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Made out of felt. I thought it would be cool food for thought for everyone.
Zaphod Beeblebox would be played by
George Clooney.
No.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray,
yeah.
Thank you.
Bill Murray would be Star of Blast.
He would be Slarty Barty.
He would absolutely be Slarty Barty.
Or, no, he's Marvin.
Or Marvin.
Oh, yeah, he's a good Marvin.
Totally
Okay,
Marvin.
I want to hear who your actual...
Okay,
yeah.
That was just thoughts.
It's an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah.
My
real
that's
choice,
a fun path to go down and then leave.
And then not, actually. If I was really trying to hire a director for this, I would go with Matthew Vaughn, who I don't know if many people recognize his name, but he did Stardust, he did X-Men First Class, he did Kick-Ass, he did both Kingsman movies. So he's really great with these action, adventure. Stardust, to me, was like a great comparison to Hitchhiker's Guide, because it's like sci-fi but also fantasy.
Yeah. Good comedic.
Yeah, he's my pick.
The interesting thing about Matthew Vaughn for me is that he's made a lot of things that I really, really like, but he's also made a lot of things that I really, really hate.
True,
for example, I love the first Kingsman movie, and I hate the second Kingsman movie.
Same with first and second Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. And my understanding is that Rocket Man's probably fun, but I don't know yet. That's the...
Yeah, I mean, that's not even really the genre.
And I really like Eddie the Eagle.
I haven't seen that.
Although he produced that, he didn't direct it. But speaking of other things that he produced and didn't direct, we have the latest Fantastic Four movie. The one that is universally reviled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We also did X-Men First Class, which I really like, but it's one of those things where the more I hear about it, the more I dislike. But that said, Stardust is so good.
So good.
Like, I love Stardust.
It seems like he's better at directing than producing.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's better when he has to work within restrictions. I think he's better when there's someone above him kind of guiding him. In the same way that I actually feel about, oh god, this is embarrassing. Who created Star Wars? George Lucas. Like, legitimately, the same way I feel about George Lucas is I think the first Star Wars movies are good because George Lucas, well, his wife was helping a lot, and she's been, like, stricken from the record. But
I feel like it's the opposite of that, though. I feel like it seems like he was good when he had brand new idea, but when it was time to make something that would have to adhere to a lot of overhead production type standards and certain things that they wanted to make sure would happen, I feel like maybe he just went loose and crazy.
George Lucas or Matthew Vaughn?
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
You agree with me, but for different causes.
In a flip side way, kind of. Yeah.
I think he's a great choice, and if we could do the Matthew Vaughn from 2007, I would agree.
Yeah.
And I would 100% take that. But I think we have the Matthew Vaughn for 2019, and I think he's lost it a little bit.
Okay. I can see that.
But I again think it's an amazing choice. My director is a woman named Claire Scanlon, who you probably have not heard of, but she won an Emmy for actually editing The Office.
Oh.
So she's worked on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Office, Last Man on Earth, Glow. She's an Emmy-winning director. she is an Emmy winner. I think she's an Emmy-winning editor as opposed to an Emmy-winning director. But I picked her because her base for comedy is so expansive. And because I think she's a director on her way up. And so I think that she's the sort of person who would be given a project like this, like, all right, you've earned it, now run a franchise.
No, you have to, this is your big blockbuster.
And I'm going to pull her up. She edited documentaries for PBS and the Discovery Channel, director for Glow, American Princess. She's working on a couple of film or something called Set It Up came out. She's a dark horse candidate for sure, which is why we'll probably go with Taika Waititi. But I always like finding the person who no one else has found. And she's directed The Good Place and Ghosted and Blackish, and she's everywhere, and she's clearly great, and more respect should be paid.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that kind of underdog element where it's like she's done so well with all of these smaller productions. Like, let's see what she can do when she's given literally the universe.
Right.
Very interesting.
That said, 8th time, if not more, Taika Waititi should be the director for this.
I think so, too. I also...
He could nail it.
That's the thing. That's why he keeps getting picked. Because I keep doing sci-fi movies.
Yeah,
I feel
stop
really
doing
strongly that also it should maybe be a director who has...
Sci-fi experience, not just comedy experience?
No, I was going to say, like, leans more to the British...
I agree with
like,
that.
I don't know if an American director would hit all of the... like.
I agree with that, which is why absolutely I wanted to go with your writer.
Yeah.
Because Charlie Koval's absolutely the right choice.
Yeah.
And so that is our movie.
I am very happy with this outcome. I know I would never want to remake this film.
We should absolutely remake this movie. Start tomorrow.
I would genuinely be interested if it only has these exact people involved.
So let me go through. So...
Oh, also, for producing, I know we don't usually talk about that, but I
throw it in every once in a while.
I thought, like, either Jim Henson should continue to work on the Vogons, or...
Yes.
Oh, for the Vogons. Yeah.
And for the puppetry of any space character.
The production company Leica, they did Box Trolls and Coraline.
I love them.
Yeah, I
They're
think they'd be
amazing.
great at, like, just doing all the production design for the Vogon universe.
Yeah.
But we can't use them.
Why?
Because they're exclusively stop motion.
They should branch out.
Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings are exclusively stop motion animation. And their monster creation, their creation of the world is fantastic. The fact that Leica is involved is the only reason I'm interested in seeing Missing Link.
Yeah.
But, like, I own Box Trolls.
Yeah.
Did I lend you Box Trolls?
No.
Is that one of the movies I lent you?
I watched Box Trolls independently. I love Leica. It's my own thing.
Yeah, I love Leica as well. Give me my movies back. Anyway.
On that note,
here's our film for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Woo. Arthur Dent will be Daniel Radcliffe. Ford Prefect is Donald Glover. Trillian is Rachel Bloom. Zaphod Beeblebrox is Nick Thune. Marvin will be Rhys Ifans. Eddie the Computer will be John Mulaney. Deep Thought will be Gwendolyn Christie. The Whale will be Daniel Kaluuya. The Bowl of Petunias will be Bill Nighy. Hama Kavula we won't have, but if we did, it's Andy Serkis. The VP lady we're for sure cutting, but if we had to have someone in as a deleted scene, it's Sonoya Mizuno. And then we also want to point out that just for good child actors, Brendan Sims and Ivy George, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, really great.
Slarty Bartfast will be Stephen Fry. Our narrator will be Jim Dale. All of this will be written by Charlie Koval and directed by Taika Waititi.
Dope. Love it.
So, you two gonna go see this movie?
I will go see this movie.
All right.
I'm gonna make this
And I want the paycheck for coming up with this incredible cast.
I mean, we're geniuses.
We are. We're so smart.
Cuts of all of the performers and all of the writers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Incredible.
Finder's fee.
Incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Into it.
Packaging fees.
Well done, team.
Yeah. So, Bethany, what would you like people to do in relation to you on the internet? Do you want people to follow you anywhere? Is there anything you want to promote?
Yes. I have a business
Yeah.
that I'm trying to promote. I am a photographer of dogs. I have a website, Dog Photog Blog. Lots of rhymes there.
Dog Photog Blog.
Someday we're going to get the blog out of there because that was a whim I don't agree with anymore and I never have time to write. But I definitely take pictures of dogs a lot in a professional photographer way, not just I have my iPhone out, I'm going to take 10 pictures of dogs. So I used to do that too.
When you or Zach was describing to me that you were becoming a dog headshot photographer, I was like, that's an amazing job and you're a perfect person for that.
And I really want to just, get that going. So if you have a dog, contact me.
I've seen Bethany's Instagram. I've seen the pictures she takes of dogs, and they're wonderful. And your dog will never look so glamorous as when Bethany photographizes.
Photogs. And that's the name of the company. Dog.
The lingo
Photog.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Good. And do you have an Instagram you want people to follow where they can see these pictures of dogs?
I have a private Instagram that is my own, which is my name, Bethany Huwe, Huwe. That is my handle. If I know of you through mutual friends, I will let you follow me. But someday I'll have a public profile with the dog pictures.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
And I have other things, but whatever.
All right. Bella.
I am on the Instagram.
You have multiple
Go
Instagrams.
on.
I have multiple Instagrams. I'm mainly actress, writer. I've directed things, so if you want help with writing things, or if you want an actor, that's me. My acting Instagram and personal Instagram is @IzzieAjeezy, IZZIEGIZI, sometimes pronounced by Sam Gasch as Ageezy, but that is wrong.
Look, I'm just so used to the way the G sounds in my last name.
Jash. Sam Jash.
I don't like that at all.
No, nobody does.
My other Instagram is Little Daily Ditties, where I try to post one song that I write every day. It has turned into not being every day because I have a life sometimes. But when I don't have a life, I start posting every day.
And it's wonderful. I appreciate it as a follower.
Thank you.
They are delightful when you post.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, that's me.
Good. I love it. If you're interested in following me, I'm on Twitter @SamGash, SAMGASCH. And the podcast is on Twitter and Instagram @IdealRemake. Spelled like it sounds. I'm also on Facebook, which you should follow, Ideal Remake or Ideal Remake Podcast. And subscribe, do all the things. But the biggest thing you could do is be like Bella. Tell someone about the show.
Hi, Colin.
I
will end with this. What do you think the question is?
Don't spring this on us now!
42?
That's the answer. So what's the question?
What is the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
42. The answer doesn't fit?
Yes, it does. Fits in my mind. Isabella just went so serious for a minute.
Well, you're tired. We've been podcasting for 2 hours, and I hit you with philosophy.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I know, it's great. I'm gonna take a selfie of all this because it's wonderful.
How many turtles?
How many roads can one man walk?
Actually living on the back of?
How many turtles are living where?
How many turtles are we actually living on the back of?
Oh.
One giant one.
42.
Turtles. I would say it's turtles all the way down, but if there's only 42, I like it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett were in cahoots about the universe.
They
the
knew.
whole
They
time.
absolutely
And they know.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we found out that that Terry Pratchett wrote the question and Douglas Adams wrote the answer in their respective books?
That would be amazing.
Mind
my
blown.
mind would be blown. All right. That's what we're leaving people with, because that's it.
blown.
That's it. That's all it can be.
All done. Thank you, guys. Bye.